In the last session on linear system of equations and solving them by the elementary row operations, I developed a computer program, linear system of equations, and that was to read the data from a file system 3.dat, which is here. So a 3 by 3 matrix was read, and a column vector 8, 3, 11 that was read, and and these are the lines. So file 15 unit, this is the old file, and with these program lines, the matrix A was created and stored and got the values from the file unit 15. And similarly, this read statement was to get the values of vector B. And accordingly, I wrote the statements to print the data values, and then elimination was performed below the diagonal entry A11, which is the first diagonal entry. So a multiplier was defined for a k value, and the row operations R2 equal to R2 minus the multiplier times R1, and for R3 it was R3 minus multiplier times the R1. And then in order to perform the calculations on element by element basis, I wrote this program line. So where the J index was varied in a row to implement the corresponding update from the row operation. And then this statement was written within this loop, bk equal to bk minus multiply times b1. This line does not include any index j. However, since it is inside the loop, therefore this was repeated the number of times the loop was executed. So an error was pointed out in the calculation of bk. So let's try to explore deep into that. So let me first I run the program last time executed. So just to be very sure about that it is the same calculation and nothing has been changed. So I delete the execution file according for that program, and I recompile it. So G77 linear system 3.4 minus O linear system 3.exe. This program has been compiled and linear system 3.exe. So the metric has been printed and the B vector has been printed in the row form. The first multiplier is 0.5 and the second multiplier was 0.25, and then the B vector has been generated. So there was an suggestion that it was pointed out that there is some error in the calculation of B. So as I figured out that it is this calculation, it is inside the loop, and therefore it has been executed 3 times. So therefore there is an error in the B calculation. So to explore that one, I include several print statements. For example, print statement with dash and the value of k. Then the multiplier, a multiplier has been calculated, and then printing for the j values. And then after every printing, let's write the row entries in this within this loop. So I write here a print statement for a and this k value, and then k, and then comma, and then j value, and then the parentheses, and then the value akj. And after writing akj, I write here a print statement for writing bk value. So k value, and then okay, this is the bk value. So some title and the value of bk, and we will find out that this bk values within one value of k, for which it has to be updated for once, it will be updated for 3 because it is inside the j loop value. So let's save the program and then recompile. Okay, okay, an error has been prompted. Some imbalance of parentheses. So it is line 37. Line 37, a value of k, and then comma j. Okay. I want j to be printed correctly. This is line 37. So I attempt to compile. Yes, it has been rightfully compiled. Linear 3.exe. This is very nice. So let's see the output. So the first few lines, the matrix has been printed. So this is the part where matrix has been printed. Then therefore the dash line and k value is 2. For second row, the multiplier has been defined for once, say 0.5. Is it correct? If we look at the data, okay, let's interpret it from here. So 2 divided by 4, it's 0.5. So multiplier has been correct. So A21, it is converted to 0, and B2 is equal to -1, and then J equal to 2. So this was meant for implementing the row operation on these two entries, which is A22 and A12, to modify the value A22. So it has performed that calculation correctly. However, this is the extra calculation. Since it is inside the loop, therefore B2 calculation on B2 has been performed again. And then J equal to 3, that is to apply row operation on the entries of A23 based upon A13. So this is performed. Okay, this was the correct calculation. However, B2 was again modified. So we wanted B2 to be modified for once. However, since it was inside the loop, the calculation here is inside the loop. Therefore, this has been performed. This calculation which is marked by this line, this program line, since it is inside the J loop, this has been performed again and again. 3 times this has been performed. So that has created the error. And if we look at this for k equal to 3, which is meant for performing the operation between R3 and R1. So a multiplier has been calculated, 0.25. So which is okay, which is correct, that here is 1. We want to eliminate this one, and on the element 4 equal to 4. Therefore, a multiplier 0.25 has been computed. A calculation on A31 has been performed, and then B3. Okay, Then on element A32 was performed, and then on B3 the calculation was again performed. And then with j equal to 3, there is again an extra calculation on B3. Therefore, the error was there. So let's correct it. And in order to correct it, we just have to bring this line outside this loop. So for one value of k, for one row operation, the same row operation should be performed on the column vector. So it is logical to keep this one outside the loop so that we have the calculation correct. So I paste it outside the loop. Save the program, and then I recompile the program and run it. And now if we see the calculation pattern, so a row value has been picked, k2, a multiplier has been defined, j equal to 1, where j index runs in the columns of a row. So a21 was modified. It was kept constant in the loop. Okay, b2 was kept constant. b2 was, when the loop is executed for the column calculations, then it is fixed. And then finally, after the loop, the value of b has been modified to -1, because the print statement, I kept the print statement inside the loop. So within the loop, the calculation remained the same. The value of b remained the same within the loop, and after that it was computed correctly. To make it more clear, I add here a print statement. And just to make it distinct from the other, use this separate sign, so that it will highlight that now the value of b has been modified. Okay. So again, compile and run. So now this is apparent. If we look for the k equal to 3, multiplier was defined, j equal to 1, and the the operation was performed on the first element of the third row, a31. Then j equal to 2, so row operation was performed. The corresponding calculation in the third row was performed on element 2 and then on element 3. And during this calculation, the value of b remained unchanged. And after that, the operation was performed on b. The similar operation was performed on b, the column vector, and the b3 value has been modified to 9. So that is the correct calculation of row operation, and accordingly on the column vector.